kọjú káwa tó ṣeré o wá máa ti ṣe bàbá. Bàló yẹ ká kọjú káwa tó ṣeré o wá máa ti ṣe bàbá. Olódùmarè tani mo ṣe Ifá tani mo ṣe ẹlẹ́gbára tani mo ṣe láàlú tani mo ṣe òrìṣà ńlá tani mo ṣe olúkòso tani mo ṣe ọ̀sán yìí o tani mo ṣe ògúnlákàyé tani mo ṣe ọ̀ṣun ẹ̀wù yìí tani mo ṣe iyemọja tani mo ṣe ẹgbẹ́ tani mo ṣe egungun tani mo ṣe gbogbo ìṣàpátá tani mo ṣe irúnmọlẹ̀ o tani mo ṣe gbogbo ayé tani mo ṣe ẹ̀yin ìyá mi tani mo ṣe àtẹ̀yin bàbá mi tani mo ṣe.
Àbọrúbọyè àbọyè bọ́ ṣíṣẹ́ fún gbogbo òrìṣà pátápátá tí ó bá ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Veneration to everyone and all persons listening to us, joining us right now. Àṣebà lára àtàjẹrò, àṣebà ọ̀rọ̀gún ilé ìlà o, àṣebà àwọn aṣíwájú, àṣebà àwọn tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn. Àṣebà òkè, àṣebà ilẹ̀ òkèrè, àfọkọ́yẹrí, alákòèrè. Àṣebà afẹ́fẹ́, àṣebà omi tá a bù sórí tí ń ṣàn wálẹ̀. Ìbá wa kò ṣẹ lónìí. Veneration to our ancestors, those who have gone ahead of us and those who are coming behind us. We ask that their energy be present amongst us today as we together, as their descendants, learn from one another. Kiba wa Oshel. Ashe. Today we are going to be discussing a controversial yet very simple topic. And it's going to be setting aright so many misconceptions about this way of life that some people have chosen to live by. It is very important that you have a detail of what you are dabbling into before going public about it and becoming so confident, so you do not get your heart broken. I realized that in Africa of today, African spirituality has now become a tool in the hand of the manipulator and an opium to those who are confused. We need to correct that notion. What I will say here today, you will not like it. My existence is to upset you. You may still be in church, loving on Jesus. You may still be in mosque, loving on Allah. You may still be in the West, in the East, loving on Buddha, or you might have come home to yourself, or you are you are hooked up in the cadre or the category of the atheist. I said to you today that all you need is clarity. There is nothing so complex about life. You realize that what you are looking for is within you already. Ohun tó ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín ń wá lọ sí ṣòkòtò ń bẹ lápò ṣòkòtò yín. Àìfarabalẹ̀ ni ò jẹ́ kójú orí mú. It takes a great level of patience. And I would not be useful to you if you had done the homework by yourself. I will not be greedy also to you and hoarding information and knowledge. Today it came to my mind that there was a certain group on Facebook that I normally see their feed, and we have back and forth and all that. They call it University of Ifa. It just crossed my mind and say I've not seen a feed on that for a while now. And I tried to search it up. I realized that they have blocked me from the group. It's a very huge number of database or few people based, but like that. And I guess my submission in that group seems to be offensive to a lot of people, because I understood the need for folks who put themselves in the position of the administrator of orisha to make money off you. Let me tell you something. A certain lady reached out to me. She came up from America, and she reached out to me. She said, I want to get confirmation of something from you. Please follow me. I'd like to get a confirmation of something from you. I want to have Ifa initiation. And my Babalawo is telling me to bring $2,800 US. $2,800 US. I was in my car. I tried to compose myself, but I was amazed. $2,800 US. For what exactly? Now, I'm going to use my calculator. In the Nigeria of today, check it out. In the Nigeria of today, dollar is selling for, let's say, roughly 530. Let's use 530 naira. So 2,800 multiplied by 530, that's 1,484 naira for Ifa initiation. Let's divide this by, let's say, even 3 people want to have such initiation. So it's going to be costing each person roughly 500,000 for Ifa initiation, according to this Babalawo. This is nonsense. It is fraud. This is scam. So I spoke to the lady. I said, when you guys come for divination, or we need to do some certain rite, have I ever called $1,000 for you before? She said, no. I said, but you guys still complain. I said, now you are a lady. Do you have a spouse? She said, no. I said, because according to how I was taught, if you are a woman, also defa obirini, we will join the woman's divinity to the already existing Ifa, preferably belonging to either a son or a husband. I said there are different ways women can be initiated into the order of Ifa. It's not a direct initiation. I said in the absence of a husband, I'm sure this Babalawo will be saying you will be tied to his own Ifa. And when you get tied to his own Ifa, he might be taking advantage of you to want to say he want to date you and all of those things. Now, your relationship with him is not going to be platonic anymore. It will be a parasitic relationship. And she said, yeah, he's already started asking me out and all that. I said, have you paid him already? She said, yes, $2,000 had gone already. I said, man, maybe you have to finish and put it through, because ẹni awí fún ọba jẹ́ ó gbọ́, ẹni tí ò gbọ́ ó ṣera ẹ̀ ní owó pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ìtẹ́ ẹ̀nà dànù. Àìgbọ́rọ̀ ní dẹború. Àìgbọ́rọ̀ ní dẹború. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín bẹ́ẹ̀ ń bí tó yẹ pé ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi báyìí. Ẹ ò ní nǹkan fi ṣe pẹ̀lú pé ẹ̀ ń wọ gbódù tàbí ẹ̀ ń wọ pé àtẹ̀yìn nífà. What I'm saying is that so many of you are listening to me right now. You absolutely have no business with Ifa initiation or going into the forest of Odu. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín ní ń wá agbára tí ò sọnù káàkiri. Agbára tá a wá ń pa níní. I always tell people that listen to me in our shrine session, I said, when you are passionate about obtaining power, it destroys you. Power is what comes to you when you are spiritually intelligent enough for it. You stumble on power as you reach to some certain level of both emotional and spiritual intelligence. The universe knows what you need per time. The phase of your life determines the kind of arsenal that you possess per time. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní wọ́n wá tí ò sọnù kiri lónìí wọ́n ti ya wèrè sọnù. Ayé wọn ò rójú, igbó ni wọ́n fi ń gbéra. Now, if they don't smoke or drug themselves or take something, they don't feel cool. People are suffering from what we call the spiritual depression. It is not clinical anymore. You will be talking to them, they will be talking to something else because they have dabbled into what is not concerning them. So I say to young people, I say, please, ẹ má pe fálèké, kẹ́ ẹ pèsù lólè, kẹ́ ẹ wọ̀run yànyànyàn bí ẹni tí ò ní kú mọ́, kẹ́ ẹ wá máa fi pa wá ohun tí ò sọnù kiri. Ohun ọwọ́ mi ò tó máa fi gàngàn fà á, èló mẹ́dẹ́tẹ̀ tí ń sẹ̀yìn àgbo. Take it easy. Take it easy. See, it is a rave of the moment. And African spirituality is gradually becoming a fashion, especially to people who live in diaspora. Oh, Mogun, on pelefo, Ogun benle yi. Ko ma ba toju bogun, ko ma ba dogun mo lowo ebe ni mo be. They will say Baba Yoruba's own is always different. It's not spiritual enough. It's not Babalawo enough. It's just motivating us. It's just doing it. Ehun tí àgbárí ń bẹ ọ́ jókòó sí, bó bá gungi ọ́ lérí. Bí mo bá pọ̀ má ṣe ọmọ ṣe bó bá ṣe tán tó dá pọn wọ́n gbójú mi sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. I did not get to where I am today simply by coveting power. I was going to learn Ifa. I was going to church. I was doing the two at the same time, weighing my options. I was sitting at the feet of the elders and paying my dues. I was reading extensively and traveling the world around before I could say, I want to identify with African spirituality. What have we not read? 7 books of Moses, Attica, the lost and hidden books of the Bible, we have read it. What are they doing in the hotel cult of the Quebec people that we have not? But there is something called spiritual intelligence. Knowing when to stop, knowing how to apply words. There are several magical books all around the world. You will find them in my library. I will read them like a normal person read them. What I'm looking for is the similarity. What are you trying to get at? I am not interested in power. Power that does not come to me does not belong to me. You don't go after power and not get yourself ruined. I'm starting on that note so that the people of the future generation for whom I am doing this video can know that, see, in the time you wake up, some people woke up to their death. They say, I'm not woke, I'm not woke. A lot of people have been awoken into eternal destruction. People get themselves awoken from church into atheism. I wonder how a black child can believe in atheism. I wonder why a black race can say there is no spirituality. I'm not saying get woke to the sky god. I'm saying get woke to your divinity. So many people have gotten so woke, they got woke from religion of the West into the religion of the East, go into Buddhism and all that, yoga straight away. Different kind of wokeness is happening all around the world. And some people simply got woke into the bondage of this Babalawo. See, woke can get you woke up. And when you get woke up, you are broken forever. Because you have tried Islam, it did not pay. You have tried Christianity, it did not pay. I suspect that when you get disappointed with African spirituality, you will lose faith in divinity forever. So I say, calm down, take it easy. Take it easy. See, the concept of African spirituality is the most simplest concept you can ever come across. But because of its simplicity, people do not understand it. Because mankind has been wired to think that if a thing is not difficult, then it is not powerful. We are used to a hard life. People spiritualize poverty to mean that they need to be poor in order to test their own faith. There is nothing glorifying, there is nothing glorious about poverty. People spiritualize struggle, persecution, and all those people have used the lowest point of life as a determinant to success. No, your life doesn't have to be hard before you get better. The moment you get it right and you know what to do part time, all the rest is easy. Now, am I nullifying the aspect of divination? No, divination is needed. But what do you get outside divination? Divination is a pointer and a path or a light onto your path that directs you to what? To yourself, not to outside you. Divination is an access to your divinity. That's what divination means. A pé iwájú ọpọ́n ifá ò gbọ́ o, ẹ̀yìn ọpọ́n ifá ò gbà o, olùmúlọ́tún olùkànràn ló sì àárín ọpọ́n ifá ẹ̀ta ọ̀run má fèrè pé bí má fèbè péré má fòlòlò fọ́hún. We are dissecting your divine reality. It is not because a babalawo is the one with the monopoly of power to assess your divinity. It is because you are not calm enough to be your own priest, to be your own babalawo. And there are ways to it. There are things you must learn. Until you get to that spot, reach out to those who can help you. However, you must be careful of people that help you. People have helped so many people to become dumber, to become useless, to become wasteful, to become sadder, to become more depressed in life. Now we talk about the concept of idol worshiping. And today in the Telegram African Spirituality Hub on Telegram, you too can be part of African Spirituality Hub on Telegram. You just go to Telegram and search for it. You can also be part of our online community, africanspiritualityhub.com. You can go to our website, make a registration, and have your own ID. Then you'll be able to explore our community. See several things that we are making available for all Black people in there. While we practice spirituality on one side, we also practice humanity in the other side. People were talking earlier today about Iborisa and how so many people have misinterpreted Iborisa to be idol worshipping. This is my take. Before you practice the spirituality of any tribe, any race, first of all, go and learn the language of that race, tribe, ethnic group. It is impossible for you to practice effectively Judaism if you do not understand Hebrew. You will not know the secret of Catholicism if you don't understand Latin. Can I say that again? If you do not go to learn Hebrew, you will not understand the nitty-gritty and the secret behind Judaism. And if you don't understand Latin, Catholic will forever remain a mystery to you. It is the lack of understanding of Latin that made many Black people embrace Christianity today because they don't even know what they are practicing. If only you understand Latin, which is like an ousted language of today, it was intentionally laid to rest so that the origin of Catholicism will remain mystery for a lot of people. The moment you understand the language of the kind of spirituality you want to practice, the rest becomes so easy for you. Ènìyàn fi ń pè wá ní bàbá Yorùbá, akọ Yorùbá, ó yọrantí lẹ́nu wa, àpádé àlùdé Yorùbá ńlá kọ́kọ́ tá kọ́kọ́ mọ̀ ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó jọ mọ́ Yorùbá. Are you with me? I started off as Baba Yoruba. I have a reason. My life is in phases and is in stages. If you can't keep up with it, you can fall off the cliff. How much, if you want to, African spirituality have common similarity within them. We recently developed a curriculum that can expose every Black child, irrespective of your race, your origin, into the deep of African spirituality by picking the similarity of all of them. A very well robust curriculum, academic curriculum, which we will be launching very soon. So you to understand that there is similarity between all of your ancestors. However, if you will use Yoruba way to interpret African spirituality, there is nothing like Yoruba religion. Let me tell you something like there is nothing like Yoruba religion. There is something like Yoruba race or Yoruba ethnic group. They practice also African spirituality. There is another thing as the pollution of the religion of the invaders in the spirituality of the African ancestors. I'll get there. There are three types of ancestors. The pre-slavery ancestors, who are they are the ones that we refer to and venerate. The in-slavery ancestor and post-slavery ancestors. You see, the pre-slavery ancestors are the one who built vast civilization, living in wealth and so much riches here in Africa, enough to attract the savages and the invaders into this continent. It was the shining light that attracted those bees, those insects, those flies to this continent. We have the in-slavery ancestors. Those are the ancestors that was invaded. They were highly bastardized, highly mutilated, highly abused, injured, highly bombarded. It was the in-slavery ancestor that gave birth to the post-slavery ancestors, of which your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather is one of them. The loss of the originality of African spirituality did not start 200, 100, or 1,000 years ago. It was a systematic pollution of what African spirituality truly stands for. So because you did not know the actual African spirituality does not mean that the polluted and the adulterated one you inherited from your great-grandfather is the definition of African spirituality. There is nothing like idolatry in African spirituality. There is nothing like idolatry in African spirituality. It's not part of African spirituality. This is why they all hate me. And really, I expected that. My commissioning is to right the wrong. And this is why they call us animists. This is why they call us idolaters. This is why they use different sort of name to identify and qualify you and I. As a matter of fact, it was the savages that came to pollute the slaved ancestors with their own bowing down to this, bowing down to that, that our ancestors began to condescend their spirituality in that manner. I'm going to start this way, and I need your response. If you bow to Ogun, if you bow to Oya, if you are bowing to Shango, if you are bowing to Oromila, who do you think Ogun, Oya, Shango, Oshun, Oromila were bowing down to when they were alive? Who do you think they were bowing down to when they were alive? Let's paint a scenario. Assuming all of these ancestors existed in the same dispensation, do you think Oromila is going to the house of Ogun to go and bow to Ogun? Do you think Oya was going to the place of Oshun to go and bow and serve or worship Oya? Is that the kind of ancestors you think you're calling into? Let's now imagine that they existed in different dispensations. Do you think when Oromila was alive, a length of Ogun, he decided to make Ogun his God? For if one is greater than the other, you will not learn of all, you will learn of one. Can I say that again? For if one is greater than the others, you will not learn of all, you will learn of one. I have put to rest the folklore and the myth that was told you that one Olodumare created a wing or orisha, 201 of them, sent them to the earth, they descended from the sky. If you believe that and you don't believe that Adam was made and Eve was made in the Garden of Eden, you are an hypocrite. I know you don't believe that story, but you believe this story. If you believe that Oya and the rest turned to water or ascended to the sky, and you don't believe that Jesus ascended to the sky, you are also an hypocrite. You are one of the people that make, you can't disown one and not disown the other. If you are living in the dispensation of the Aquarius, let's know that you have disowned everything that is of Pisces dispensation. Stop living a half-truth. Do not say you disown the Greek mythology and use the same Greek mythology to interpret African spirituality. Stop these folly, people. It is simple. It is simple. You cannot say you don't want to have anything to do with Greek mythology and then still use the same method, Greek mythology, to interpret the African spirituality by saying that Oya disappeared or should turn to water, this one ascended, this one descended. If it is ascending and descending and it concerns your own race, you accept it. If it is theirs, you say no, you are a liar. If you are a Babalawo here, who say these things to people, who teach people African spirituality using folklore mythology, you are a liar. You are misleading these people. Mo mọ̀ pé ẹ́sà sí mi o, ẹ ti kóra yín jọ, ẹ ti pé báwo ni tèmi nílé alára, ẹ ti béèrè báwo ni tèmi nílé ajérò, wọ́n ń jíṣẹ́ fún mi. Ọdẹ yín tó gẹ̀gún, tó ń wòṣẹ́jú Elédùmarè, yóò gbẹ sórí igi ni. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín tẹ̀sí owó ìṣẹ́jú akàn. Pèrègèdè báyìí lórí mi ò jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ pẹ́lẹ́ tí o mẹ́. Àṣẹ kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Inú kan ni mo fi ń ṣàwó. You want to set African people free, and then you are still bringing some part of Europeanism, Eurasianism, and the religion of the invader into this. What race do we know bow to bag of cement and some concrete? The Greek race, the Caucasians, they were the one who brought Jesus. They were the one who brought all this Holy Mary and the rest. Why are you trying to use Catholicism to do African spirituality? African spirituality existed before all these things. Kabori, Kabole, Kabese, Kabo omi sọ̀rọ̀, Kabokun sọ̀rọ̀, Kabagi sọ̀rọ̀, kí gbogbo rẹ̀ gbọ́, kí wọ́n jẹ́ òjíṣẹ́ fún wa. We are the gods according to African spirituality teaching. Your ancestors existed on this plane to speak to tree for healing, to speak to water for healing, to speak to the earth for production, fertility, for food, to speak to the wind as a messenger of messages, to speak to the sun as the giver of life. They were not bowing to these things. They were observing the way nature works. They are scientists. Your ancestors are knowledge seekers. They are researchers. They are inventors. When it comes to spiritual technology, African ancestor owns that, and they know how nature and the universe works. They were not idolaters. So when people misconceive it and they say Iborisa is the same thing as idol worshipping, no, it is not. Iborisa is not an idol worshipper. It is lack of understanding and your knowledge of the language of Yooba that makes you think Iborisa or Olorisha or Iborisa is the same as idol worshipping. The concept of worship does not exist in African spirituality. It is an aberration. Worship comes from the angle of slavery. Liberation and freedom of choice is what your ancestors practice. For those compound who have decided to go the way of Shango, not worship Shango, but practice what Shango practice. We join those who are following the way of Oshun. when their own time comes for their festival. Why do they follow these men? They follow these men because these men discover some things. And because of the freedom of choice to live and to believe, you can follow a mentor. You can follow a hero. You can follow a teacher. There are people in this dispensation that follow me in code, not as their masters or as their slave trader or something, but as one they could learn from, because what I'm saying resonates with them. So also Ogun, Oya, Shango, and the rest were speaking out on what they believe so strongly. And they didn't stop there. They were teaching humanity how to make things work. My thought for humanity, or my teaching for humanity, is to love one another and be at the service of one another. So, bo ba pe o fe rubo, won pe ko lo le falaini lowo. Bo ba pe o fe setutu, won pe ko se fáwọn àgbà. Bo ba pe ayé rújú, won pe ko lo le pèsè fáwọn arúgbó. Bo ba pe nǹkan kan ṣe o, won pe ko pèsè ẹbọ kàǹkà tí ń kagúnláyà ko gbé fáwọn ẹranko. I teach you victory and how to win battle through the act of giving to one another. Giving one to another, your service and what you got. Some people will believe that, will practice that, it will work for them. And so they will follow that way. Ogun was doing that. Understanding the knowledge of how to bend metals. He was an iron bender, a goldsmith, a blacksmith. He knew how to fight battle, how to win victory. He was teaching people the skill of winning wars. He was a great general. People who followed him reverence him today. It is an aberration to worship another because you have not been bought like a slave. You are a free man if you are an African child. There is no price on your head enough to win you over. You are a free man. So those who follow him, when he died, they reverence him. They venerate him. Veneration is an act of respect. That we have a mentor. He did it this way. As it worked for him, let it work for us also. They did not stop in the place of knowing. They now go into the place of doing. Nobody worship Fela Nicola Kokute, very one that is close to you. But they reverence him. Every single year there is celebration all across the world. Those who knew him in his lifetime, those who heard of him when he was alive or dead, they realized he did something fantastic in the area of using music to fight bad governance. And they decided every single year we will reverence and respect this man's impact in our world. They are not worshiping Fela, they are respecting him. Yo wa léwu fún ọba pé à ń bọ Fela ni. No, à ń gbé lárugẹ ni. And we also venerate him. That's a simple example of what was being done there. And it's not limited to all these monumental ancestors, Shango, Oya, and the rest. It also trickled down to our own ancestors who did nothing but to multiply in having wives and giving birth to children. Every time we come together, we venerate them. I grew up in a village where when we go to Ile Odun festive time, my grandmother will pick all the great-grandchildren and the grandchildren and the children also to the burial site of our ancestors, and will tell us to light a candle on them, to form a communication with them, to respect them for their effort in their family lineage. Was that idol worshiping? Do you think that's idol worshiping? We remember each other from one generation to another. It is not bad. So it depends on how you remember your ancestors. Do you remember them by turning them into some kind of shrine? Or you remember them by doing what they did and even more than that? Is somebody listening to me today? Are you hearing me? Can you hear what I'm saying? Or am I confusing you? So the concept of worship is not an existing it is not an existing word in the vocabulary here in African spirituality. It is those who lack the knowledge of what they do that used the religion of the invaders to practice the African spirituality. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? The concept of worship does not arise here. It doesn't. We don't worship one another. We serve one another. And when we create enough memory that is soothing, that is like a sweet smelling savor or favor, we go back to remember these memories. Surely some of you are widows here. When you remember your husband, how do you feel? Especially the one that is good to you. Within you, you reverence this guy. You reverence this woman. Some people decide not to marry again after their wife or husband died out of respect for this man or woman. It is because of what he or she has done in their lives. Are you with me? Some people have refused to share their body with another person again at the exit of the woman or the man that they love. It is a form of respect. They are not worshiping. The man is not their God. They are only respecting the memory of that person. So what is idol? What is idol? You all know that an idol is something or someone that have a special place in your heart. Something or someone that have a special place in your heart. Because you can idolize anything. Anything can be idolized. Idol is the same as addiction or a substance that people get so addicted to. A substance of addiction now begin to control your life, your decision making, your choice, and every step of your life. Because you want to live according to the dictate and the instruction of your idol. For instance, a person who is a football fan have idolized some of these footballers or even the soccer game itself. And so you might get into his wardrobe and only clothes you will see there are the jersey of his football club. He has submitted himself to the dictate of that game. It is against African spirituality. African spirituality start and end with man. Know what? Know yourself. An idol is something or someone that take preeminence in your heart so much so that it controls you, it subdues you, it suppresses you, it controls you. Some people idolize alcoholic drinks so much that you can get any secret and every secret out of them just by giving them alcohol. Some idolize sexual intercourse so much that when they see anything in skirt or anything in trousers, they are ready to go down low. Idolatry is something that you have so much string attached to that you suspend your brain, you deny yourself, and you submit who you are to these things. So my question to you is that, is Shango the controller of your life? You will say no, because in that area, you don't want to accept. Is Oya the controller of your life? Is Oshun the controller of your life? So why do you accept that you are an idol worshiper? Remember that the word worship is not even there. And this concept of idol is subjecting yourself to slavery again. People do not understand the concept of slavery, especially religious people. Religious people do not know that the existence, the sole aim of the establishment of religion alone is idolatry. Giving you something to control your life. Having the decision made by someone else but you. And this idolatry trickles down to people now cutting down trees, giving it eyes, nose, mouth, ear that cannot hear, nose that can't smell, eyes that can't see, mouth that can't talk, and now say, this is what I will worship. The moment you pick a thing and say, this is what I worship, you have said, this is what will control my life. Whenever you have said that a thing is enough to control your life, is that the thing is existing in form of Jesus that you have never met, that exists in your brain? Exist in the form of Allah that you have not seen, Yahweh that you don't know, Buddha that you don't meet, Shango that you don't know, Oya that you don't know, all those things that you do not know, you have become a slave again. You see so many working slaves, they are rich, they are very buoyant, they are smiling, they are laughing, they have wife, they have everything, but they are still slaves. They are still slaves. And tell me the country or the civilization in the world that is as idolatry as the Rome. They have idol for everything. Idol for everything. And the influence of Rome in Africa is what you see today, where people bow to stuff. Your ancestors were observing the moon, the sun, the angle of it, to maximize their profit, their harvest. They have no time for all this nonsense. No time for all this nonsense. And so the moment a person now begin to now say, I condescend myself to being the worshipper of a tree or anything made out of a tree, such a person should be written off as a true human. Because African spirituality have no pact with bowing down to something. Kiwa ni Iborisa? What is the meaning of Iborisa? That's where we'll be asking questions. Number one, who is orisha? Or what is orisha? Orisha is two words, and it is all internalized. In orisha, we have ori, we have sha. In Yoruba word, sha means picked, selected, separated, delegated, elected. Sha, when you say you pick something, you pick it out. So if there's anyone like a special person, a chosen generation, you. Ori is your divine energy, your divinity. Divinity. You are the one selected in the universe to perform the work of liberation. You are the one selected by the universe or in the universe to pave way where there is no way. You are the one selected in the universe to quench the thirst of those who are thirsty. You are the one selected by the universe to speak the truth when lie prevails. You are the one selected by the universe to do the unthinkable positively. You are the chosen one. Should we say they learned the concept of Christ or Messiah or chosen one from our forefathers and decided to religionize it in their place by putting it all in one person called Jesus? Because the definition they gave to being Christ or Al-Masih or Messiah or Savior or the Anointed is the same as Orisha, the one that has been picked, chosen to do a specific task. The task that redeem people to be at the service of one another. Orisha ni ìwọ, Orisha ni èmi. Yálà Igbo ni o, Yoruba ni o, Kenya ni o, Gambia ni o, it does not matter where you are. How the ancestors, pre-slavery ancestors, refer to us in this place is Orisha. Every one of you are Orisha. You are chosen for a specific task. You exist for a specific reason. That is the reason the whole essence of African spirituality is knowing yourself. Having been chosen, what have you been chosen for? This is the reason why the ancestor performed the ritual of predestination, or otherwise known as life script or akosejaye. What has this child been chosen for? This Orisha, this person that is Ori has picked, this person that has been divinely picked to exist as a physical energy in this episode of life, what have they been picked for? Ibitaye ti dára nù a ó sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àkọsẹ̀jáyé lọ́jọ́ mìíràn. Mo ti gbìyànjú ẹ̀ wò. So, people that follow my message, those people that are in African Spirituality Hub, when they speak to one another, they call themselves Orisha. One person joined us recently and I said, you might find it strange when these people refer to themselves as Orisha. I said, this is the life and the reality we choose to live. We have detached ourselves from the post-slavery era, from every form of slavery effect. We are living as we used to before the invasion of the Caucasian. So they have the right to refer to themselves as Orisha. Orisha ni ewo, Orisha si ni eme pẹ̀lú. Àmọ́ kí l'oríṣà ọ fún, kí l'oríṣà mi fún. What are you doing with your task? What are you doing with your purpose? If you have been chosen to do something spectacular, why are you living like a slave, looking for what to bow to and what to worship? Do you see that the very existence of you negates the concept of idol worshiping? And death does not nullify you as Orisha. Either you are in the womb, you are still going through the process of zygote now. I speak to you as an energy, or you are already existing. Either you are dead already. Every energy that was not created cannot be destroyed, and you are an energy. Just that the purpose of an atom is different. One atom is different from the other. Igi kan ò dágbó ṣe. Èyí ló máa ń mú bànújẹ́ wá fún mi bí mo bá rí tí àwọn èèyàn ń gbá yọ̀ọ̀yọ̀ tó àwọn èké yìí lẹ́yìn. The purpose of being exposed to African spirituality is that gods can multiply on the surface of the earth. How many of you are living today and you know when you die, you will not be forgotten as Ogun, Oya, and the rest has not been forgotten? I think the basic and primary assignment that all African people should be doing right now is to be asking, what did the ancestor do that made their name become transgenerational? I want to do it, and I want to do much more than that. Orisha means the chosen one. The chosen one. Do you know why you know? Why you will know you are chosen? In the process of zygote, there are plenty eggs in your mother's womb. There are plenty sperm fighting for that egg. Why are you the one that fertilized the egg? Every single aspect of your life vividly pronounce you as an Orisha, the chosen one. There is not one chosen more than you. That's why it is an aberration for you to bow to anyone. There is not one person more qualified to be God than you. You become a bastard and you nullify your purpose of existing. If you bow to Jesus, if you bow to Allah, if you bow to Yahweh, if you bow to Muhammad, if you bow to Ogun, if you bow to Oya, if you bow to Oshun, if you bow to all these very other human beings that existed to live their purpose just like you are busy bowing to the purpose that you should be living. When you go for divination and we say, Allah teach you Oshun fun o, that we need to do the work of Oshun for you. We are not saying we want you to be bowing to Oshun. That's why when they say initiation of this, scrape your head like this, this is a charity. What did Oshun know about using water for healing? Teach these people and let them multiply healing on the earth. That's what we say. When you go through so much struggle and all that, there is a way Ogun did it. We will say, okay, let's do the work of Ogun. He has taught people. They have taught us. All we need to do is to say, okay, thank you for teaching us. This is what we need to do, and you get your victory. Mentioning Ogun is a form of reverencing, a respect. When you write a thesis, when you submit a paper, when you write a project, or you bring out an hypothesis, you cannot be validated if you don't reference those sources where you got those from. As a matter of fact, the referencing you give is the validity of the project you write. It will be a root shock, aberration, and nullification of your whatever you want to do when you don't pay homage or give respect or honor to those whom honor is due to. It is the act of paying homage or giving respect or giving honor to those whom honor is due to, that in Yoruba word we call it Iba. 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 Iba also trickles down to mean Ibo or Ibu. Iba means to give honor. Ibu means to also give. Words like Ibukun, to add more to it, to give from yourself and add more to something. In Yoruba land, children bow to their parents, prostrating, kneeling down. We say Ibowo, Ibowo, Ibu Owo. We give respect to them. We reverence them. Iborisa, Ibowosha, Ibowofosha, reverencing orisha. And if you look at orishas, you and I, you realize that we are one another's element of reverencing. And so, when I see you, I take a bow, not in worship, but in respect, in reverence. The same thing happened when we say Lobori, when we say Ibori, is the same word for Iborisha. Ibori is the same word for Iborisha. When we say Ibori, we say reverence your divinity. Are you with me? You reverence your divinity by giving to it what it requires. Because as we have the physical allergies, we also have spiritual allergies. Some people cannot work well with some colors. Some people can work well with all colors. Some people cannot work well with some set of human beings. Some people cannot work well in some certain geographical locations. Some can live everywhere. We have both spiritual allergies and also physical allergies. When we now mention the word Ibori, we refer to you reverencing yourself. It is the same word for Iborisa. Ibori have nothing to do with putting palm oil, killing fowl on a piece of metal and calling it Mofe Bogun. It is not the person of Ogun that you are reaching to. It is the discovery of Ogun that you are exerting. And so because you are learning or doing the teaching of Ogun, you will reverence that person. You don't worship. You reverence. You respect. You give credit to whom credit is due. And it is highly possible for you to do African spirituality without being idolatry or idolatrous. It depends on who taught you, how you embrace it, because you are the very God that you are looking at or looking for. I bought this piece of art recently. Look at it. This piece of beautiful art recently. Do you know it's easy for me to deceive you? I put it in a place and I begin to add palm oil, begin to add animal blood and all sorts on it. So when I tell you that go and touch that thing, your sickness will be gone. Because you believe already that when you touch this piece of wood, your sickness will be gone, you get healing. Who did the healing? You did it because you are the one, you have programmed the cells, the water in your body to be dependent on touching this thing. If I tell you the same thing and say, go and take water, drink it, do this and that, you realize that you will get the same result. Why? Because you are the God who can heal you. You are the one who is doing the miracle. You just need to make sure that every single water, cell, blood, fluid in your body aligns with your emotion and also what you desire. No disparity between this compartment. And there is no denying for you in the universe everything you request. Thank you. Somebody say placebo. So most of the time when you visit this Babalawo and they present all these images to you, this is placebo. This piece of art should be appreciated. And the longer year it exists, the more expensive it is. Art is a business. Art is a business. It is not, symbolism is not spirituality. Symbolism, the moment you begin to use symbolism to validate your spirituality, you are gone. Symbolism is not the same as spirituality. Because if you want to be happy, it happens within you. If you want to be sad, it happens between you. There is nothing behind this piece of art but this emptiness. That's all. Somebody went to cut down the trees, beautiful trees, and decided to carve it. You went to buy it and began to pour oil on it. Anyhow, for a lot, the one who carved it, what should he say? That's how they carve bag of cement for you and say, only Mary carrying Jesus Christ. And you went to be bound down to it, as old as you are. 70-year-old people. 70-year-old people. You will now put the picture of your pastor in your neck and be saying, the God of my father, this, the God of my dad. Go and be worshiping the man. When we get to the houses of most of you, you see that white man Ptolemy in picture, where it is. They will say, how much do you buy it? You say you use thousands upon thousands of dollars to buy a white man picture. And you cannot invest the same in African art. So when I do stuff, I say, let's divide it into two. You will do some part, I will do some part. Why do I insist that you must be part of the ritual and rite? Because I'm trying to expose you to what you need to do when I'm gone, when I'm not around. I am decentralizing the knowledge and the power you think I have. So sometimes I call some of you, remember what I taught you, what I say you should do, make sure you go and do it now. I'll do my part here. If you are here, we'll do what is needful. The reason why I help some of you to do some things in Nigeria is because maybe you can't buy fowl to kill by yourself. Maybe you can't buy this to do by yourself. Maybe you can't do this and that. And most of these things that we even use here, they are more expensive because they are things that we are allowed to die by themselves. They have to be dead by themselves. We have to send people into the forest, into the bush to go and get those things that make their natural death. We use them. This is the reason why some of you think that we are not spiritual enough. I want to say, people give testimony all the time. As simple as this is, as fake as you think I am. People who follow this simple rudiment of life, I see a result. I see in my own life. They see result in their own life. But we have a lot of people who are looking for magician. We have a lot of people who are looking for people that will fraud them, that will dupe them. You need power so much that you are blinded by grace. From grace, rather. So many of you don't know you are eating grace. Ori ẹyẹ ni o pẹyẹ, orí rẹ ni o ṣalátakò rẹ tó fi ń gbẹ láyé ìsìn. Bí mo bá nípa olùlò máa bo òòṣà tí mo ní kó forí lẹ̀, ó jẹ́wọ́ nù. Wọ́n lórí la bá bọ́ a ò bá fò òòṣà sílẹ̀. Gbà torí ń gbé ní bolo òòṣà wà o. Orí la bá bọ́ a ò bá fò òòṣà lẹ̀. Ń gbò orí ń gbé ní bolo òòṣà wà. Orí ló ṣà ọ́. Ìwọ gangan lo òòṣà, ó ti dòdìdẹ̀, orí ló ṣà ọ́. Baba peko ma borito shaun and say, okay, do not worship anything, don't bow to any idol, only reverence your own ori. Your divinity is what you should hold every time and say, bí wọ́n bá pẹyẹ wọ́n pẹyẹ forí, bí wọ́n bá pàjá wọ́n pàjá forí, bí wọ́n bá pẹlẹ́dẹ̀ wọ́n pẹlẹ́dẹ̀ forí tí ń gbè mí torí bóyá bá tako ni yóò mẹ́sẹ̀ ẹni lọ síbi tí wọ́n ti tì ní mọ́lé. Orí rẹ̀ ò ní ṣí ọlọ́nà. Orí la fi mẹ́ran láwo. Orí la fi ń débi ire wà. Ibi òfò sì ń bẹ orí ní mú wa lọ bẹ̀. Kórì rẹ̀ ọmọ tí ọ sí ibi òfò. Ibi ire bá ń bẹ lórí tiẹ̀ kí ó tí ọ lọ. May you not be pushed by your head into the wrong place of life. So people need magic. Like someone is saying, instant gratification. Gratification. People need magic. People need falsehood. People need lies. People need something they can be, I went to Baba the other day, he gave me this thing. He said I should be putting this. No! If I say get some calories, put it in this and that, do this every month, and I know what I'm saying. I want your spirituality to be such that it's mobile, that is neat, that you can carry along, that you can do by yourself. So I teach you the way. I don't hold the key in my hands. Somebody say, hey, Baba, I'm supposed to do my Oribibo and all that, but I'm having my menstrual cycle. Who told you that you cannot do spiritual work in your menstrual cycle? If the universe hates you so much, you should die on your menstrual day and wake up the other day. If you can breathe during your menstrual cycle, if you can think through your menstrual cycle, you can do everything spiritual during your menstrual cycle. Do not let those people deceive you. That's why you will know that they are using the religion of invader to interpret African spirituality. It is Yahweh, the God of the Jews, that hate women during their menstrual cycle. What concerns the African spirituality with the menstrual cycle of a woman? For the fact that you are menstruating shows that you are powerful and divine totally. Whichever charm of God that is running from you should better run away. I speak to you, people of this generation. I speak also to those of the next generation. Do not get yourself worked up on nothing. African spirituality is not so hard. It is the art and science of being one with the universe. It is called university, the study of the universe, knowing the deep of the deep, making sure that all elements of nature is at your service. You have been practicing African spirituality, you cannot even speak to wind and it will listen. You do not hear the voice of the birds when they chirp. You do not know that the rain is going to fall. You do not know that something is blooming. You practice African spirituality, you cannot be by the water and release all your depression in it and use it for healing. You understand African spirituality, but limited to bowing to trees and things that were cut down. You look so dirty, so tattered, so battered. So when they look at you and they say, this is African spirituality, they are validating it because you are dirty looking, smelly and stinking, and looking so ragged and battered, and looking like a demon and a figurine in the cave. That is not the representation of African spirituality. Putting chalk all over your head, doing it, putting black, looking scary does not qualify African spirituality. Bullying people, waylaying people, gymnastically doing this, does not mean African spirituality. I have showed you so many right before online. I have my reasons for doing that. On the internet, so that you will see that there's nothing wrong. These are things that if you learn it, you can do for your children. Each of you parents should be the priest in your own homes. Each of you humankind should be orisha living in this place. You should respect, venerate, reverence one another as one who can do and undo. Because if the earth will experience peace, it is going to come from human beings, not from the aliens. If the earth is experiencing war, it is because humankind orchestrated it. Technological improvement, advancement, discovery did not come from outer space. It is already here. The onus lie on us to discover these things and make them useful for us. The wealth you need to be wealthy, the people you need to be resourceful, they will not be newly created. They are not coming from the sky. They are not the aliens. They are here. It is your responsibility to know that you are orisha, discover your purpose, and every other resources needed will be added to you by the universe. You don't need the sky god. You need yourself. Ìlà ṣe pé orí bíbọ ṣe pàtàkì, orí tá a bọ ní ń pé, orí tá a bọ ní ń gbé ní, orí tá a bọ ní ń fúnni ní ìmísí, orí tá a bọ ní ń tọ́ni sọ́nà. It is when you venerate your ori, your divinity, that you get the right kind of inspiration. Smoking igbo will not give you inspiration. It will only make you mad. Smoking shisha will not make you ginger. It will make you wither. All this rolling of Riesler, you are smoking loud. It will make you burst. Things that are loud as destructive. Sniffing cocaine will not make you high. It will make you die. You will just waste away. And so you refuse to embrace yourself, look inward yourself. So you run from one nightclub to another nightclub, drinking alcohol because you are running away from yourself. African spirituality push your eyes inward to discover you, to know who you are, and then to exhibit you. Orisha ni ewo, orisha ni emi. Ba pe ka bon kankan ara wa la mo bo. Bora re ki n bora mi. Koko jabele kaluku ni cheti e. Un o le bo ki n tu bo mi. Ima bora mi ni. How do I venerate myself? How do I appease myself? Self-control is a tool of appeasement. Understanding the secret of the universe is a tool of appeasement. Knowing when to keep short and knowing when to talk is a tool of appeasement. Knowing what to offer my ori is a tool of appeasement. Knowing what to eat, what not to eat, what to wear, what not to wear, who to marry, who not to marry, they are tools of appeasement. I am God enough, I should be worshipped by myself. If anybody deserves to worship me, it is only me. It is a way of bowing to me. Worship to me is a self-control, putting myself under. So no one have the right to take my worship. No one have the right to worship me. I cannot be put under the control of another. No one should be put under my control. The concept of worship is an intrapersonal relationship with myself. It is a way of saying the amount of evil I'm capable of doing today, I will not do it. I will let goodness reign. It is saying the amount of goodness I'm supposed to do yesterday that I refused to do, I will do it today, and I will do much more than that. If there is any reason or any meaning for worship at all, worship simply means being in the service of one another. First to yourself, by knowing what works for you, then to others, by knowing how to peacefully coexist with them. All those charades that you people do, you know, it is a lie. You know it is a lie. Where has it taken you? Where has it taken you? African spirituality is not scary. African spirituality is not looking demonic and looking so battered and tattered and looking like one thing that they want to auction out in the slave market. African spirituality is very far from that. Burning incense here, burning incense there, looking so gory, looking... No. Look good. Looking good does not reduce the amount of your spirituality. Spirituality is inward, not outward. Spirituality is not outward, it is inward. Spirituality exists in the place of darkness within you, in the state of silence within you. Spirituality is like your countenance, it's like your state of, it's your mood. If you are happy, it happens within you. If you are sad, it happens within you. No one can make you happy if you do not permit them to. No one can make you sad if you do not give them access to it. Spirituality is about you taking control of all your life. Where you are not getting it, seek direction and mentorship. Kò sì ṣe bólúgbọ́n ṣe ṣe kó lè bá a rí bó ṣe kó rí. Kó lè bá a rí bó ṣe kó rí. That's my teaching to you. So people can go to church and say, I bow to you, my Lord and God, Jesus Christ, I bow to you. No, we are not bowing here. The spirituality of African people before slavery has nothing to do with bowing to some trees or some water or something. So when I tell people go to the water side every month, say this, do that, I say I teach you to control water, to be at your service. I didn't teach you to go and be bowing down to water. Okay. Is that what I send you there to go and do? I sent you forth to speak to the water. And if you are sincere and quiet enough, you will hear the water speak back to you. I didn't send you to go and be bowing down to these things. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your absolute time, because nobody turned to water. Nobody turned to trees. Nobody turned to metals. Everything was met here. Everything was met here. Everything we met it here. You must wake up within yourself. And this is the reason why African spirituality is not made or meant for only African people. As many that embrace it, they can be God on earth indeed. Doesn't matter if you are from the East, if you are from the West, if you are from the Korea, if you are from this, even if you are from the dungeon of wherever he's coming from. African spirituality is not for Africans alone. It is a spirituality of humankind, where all of us are gods. From the perspective of your ancestor before slavery, we have now over 7 billion gods on earth, and not one god is greater than the other. Not one God is greater than the other. Somebody is singing, saying that I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. I looked high and low, still couldn't find nobody. Nobody great. Nobody great, no. Nobody greater than you. See, that song should be directed to you. Not to one sky god that can't even hear what you're saying. If you condemn the concept of sky god, but you embrace the concept of this kind of God, you are mad chronically. If you condemn the concept of sky god, but you embrace this thing as God, you are professionally mad. You are just waiting for diagnosis. So if anybody is going to sing anything like, nobody great, oh, nobody greater than you. There is no one greater than you. Not one God is greater than the other. You are God enough. Orisha ni ewo, orisha ni emi. You have been selected, you have been picked in your area of purpose and calling. No one is greater than you. There is a place of coexistence, peaceful coexistence, service to one another. But that someone is greater than you, it is a lie. The concept of something greater than another is what brought about slavery, where there is a social order or a hierarchy of humanity. The Caucasian think they are I, then they follow by the Chinese, then the Arab, and all that. And even within the black, they say the African Americans are more valuable than the African Americans. All of you are mad together. Not one is greater than the other. There is no concept of slavery. There is no concept of seniority. There is no concept of superiority or inferiority in African spirituality. You are God. Oshani wo, Oshani emi. If I respect you, I'm just respecting you. Maybe because you are older, or maybe because you are not knowledgeable than me. I am not respecting you because you are my God. I'm not respecting you because you are greater. I'm respecting you because you have value. And a true orisha should constantly look out for how he or she will add value to others every day. That is the memory that people cherish when you are gone. That is the thought that they reverence when you are gone. Oveka bo ka se pon le bo ba lo imotara eni nikan ti baye re je. You have money, you spend it alone. You have car, you ride it alone. You have house, you live in it alone. You have knowledge, you use it alone. Every opportunity, you use it alone by yourself. What memory are you creating as an orisha? What are we going to venerate when you are gone? How shall we know you ever existed if you don't spread memory in our earth? Good and pleasant memories. It is the memories that Ogun, Oya, and the rest spread that made us remember them. It is their memory we become fond of, that we respect them. We say we respect this person for doing this. May you live a life that is worthy of respect even when you are not there. May you live a life that is worthy of veneration when you are not there anymore. May your life be so transient and so transcending and so transgenerational and so limitless and so timeless that when you are gone, you are not truly gone. When you leave, you have not left. That those who are coming up behind you will learn something about the way you live your life. If you want to do that, you need to start focusing yourself and removing your focus on this, except to appreciate it as a work of art. When you go to any babalawo and they present anything like this for you, there is nothing in this thing. Nothing spiritual about art, except that it shows the beauty and the skill of the one who made it. So somebody said, so if there's no spirit in art, the white people, when they come, they try to test it and see if there's spirit in it or not. It is not spirit they are looking for. They are trying to determine the age of the art. Surely the wood used for it will have the age. So the age of the wood will also tell us how old the art is. And how old it is what determines how valuable it is. This is the list of the current art I just bought. It is worth more than 100,000. And then, you see, it's older than even my own father. Over 102 years old. Imagine you holding something that ancestors made. It brings connection between you and your ancient ancestors. Now I'm advising Africans to collect more African art. Else, these white people will come and collect all these things. They put it in their museum and line you up in their country to pay to look at what your ancestors did. So preserve it now. Preserve it now by patronizing your artist. It is because of beautiful things like this they wrote the book of Exodus chapter 20. and condemn anything that has to do with artistic. They say graven image. They call it graven image. Leave our graven image for us. What is our graven image? What are they doing in your museum? British people, German people. What are they doing in your museum, in your showcase? What are they doing there? Leave it for us now. Leave it for, are they your graven image? It's our graven image. Leave it for us. Leave it for us. So it is way different. I'm not saying there are African spiritualists who are not idol worshippers, but I'm saying African spirituality is not about idol worshipping. There is a way you can practice your own spirituality without idolatry. And until you come to that term, you are not spiritual at all. If what determines your spirituality is something that you can objectify, you are not spirit. That's not spirituality anymore. If what determines your spirituality is what you can, substantiate, what if I say this is Ogun for you now, and say come and bow to it, then I put on my gas, I left, I went out, and the whole house got burned by fire, and this thing also, because it will burn to ashes. This is just ordinary wood. It will burn to ashes. How can I go out there and say Ogun has burned to ashes? First of all, this is not Ogun. I decided to disappoint myself by being a psycho-mental patient, telling you that come and bow to this. Those who bow to trees, they have mental problem. Can I say that again? Those who bow to all these things, you bow to stone, you bow to this thing. See, there is symbolism. Symbolism is not spiritual. See, those who bow to this thing, I'm saying it again, you people that went to go and be bowing to water, bowing to trees, but any mental, you are insane, you don't know. Trees don't bow to you. You go to bow to trees. Yet to say you are superior, it's like you are mad. Because I don't know how to diagnose you more than that. You bow to the picture of Jesus. You bow to the picture of your father in the Lord. You bow to Kaaba. You bow to the moon. Some of you bow to the sun. Anything imagery, you bow to it. You bow to the image of Mary. We don't even know if that's Mary or Yamatanga or Karichika. Anything you see, anything bowable, you bow. All of this little bow wow generation. Anything bow. So either you are bowing in church or mosque, or you are bowing in the shrine or whatever, you are still a bow wow. All of you, you have mental issue. You are not human enough. Animals are not bowing to you. You cut the head of animals, you dry them, and then you go ahead to bow to them. And then you say you are smarter than the animals. The one you bow to is your master. The one you bow to is your master. So that's why I say I'm not a representative of Yoruba people. I understand Yoruba. Yeah, that's my tribe or my race. But I'm not your representative. What I practice is not Yoruba religion. And I dare to ask any of you. I dare to ask any of you. When Oromila was alive, was he bowing to Ogun? Answer me. When Shongo was alive, was he bowing to Oshun? Those people, well, do you read the story that they were bowing? Are they bower like you? Looking for what to bow to? You guys live like an orphan. You have this spiritual orphanage mentality in you. Spiritual orphanage mentality in you. For as many that want something to bow to, you know where to go to. But if you want to be God, if you want to live truly as orisha, if you know you are enough, that your divinity is enough, there's a space for you here. And I'll teach you how to be that effectively. I'll teach you all the spiritual science the ancestors taught us. And all this is about being your own God. Aborubayo, apoye posishe, ogbo ato, iwurewu fun, eta solo ni, karo romo, enu la fi soro, ka ma fenu ko. Ese la fi rin debi ká má fẹsẹ̀ kọ. Àwọn ìyá ọ̀pá kí àlàkẹ́ arógbó aṣọ má balẹ̀ kí wọ́n gbé wá lẹ́yìn kí wọ́n má ti wà lókè. Aṣọ ẹ̀mí á tún sọ mí jù wọn ò yájú sólòṣà wọn ò yájú sí babaláwo wọn ò yájú sónífá wọn ò yájú sọ́lọ́ya òótọ́ ńlá sọ torí bá a bá sòótọ́ táyé rójú àwọn ọmọ wa náà ó lè rí nǹkan fi lélẹ̀ and they will be proud of themselves. When we speak together in truth, we have generations of Africans who can be proud of themselves. Not generation of Africans who are seen as baboons, as rogues. So I beg you, the Babalawos of the world, the African spiritualities of the world, please, stop using the religion of the invaders to interpret the discovery and the scientific compilation of your ancestors. Èrè lójú owó rí ojú yín á ríre. Bá a ti ń ṣe iṣẹ́ àwọn alálẹ̀ yóò mọ̀ ju wa ṣe. A ò ní ṣàṣetẹ́, a ò ní ṣàṣebó, a ò ní pọ́n láṣọ, a ní pọ́n aṣọ, a ní pọ́n láṣọ bí àparò. Gbégbé ìgbésókò ìwà jẹ́ ihun tá a jẹ́ ò ní padà jẹ́ wá o. A ò ní ṣorígbé o. May our life be a good example for the generations that are coming behind us. May this African spirituality not be another charade, another shenanigans, another deceit tool in the hands of the invaders and those who knew nothing about it. My special plea to the African Americans, those who live in diaspora, those who are not home already, stop allowing people to dupe you. People are milking and taking a lot from you, initiating you into things that you have no business with. Is your life better now? Or you look more miserable, or you feel more miserable? You need to seek counsel from people who know better, who are ready to offer you the true freedom that you desire. And as you seek more, may you find that which you are seeking for. Ashe. You are free to surf our website and become a member of African Spirituality Hub. You just go to the internet and browse africanspiritualityhub.com. africanspiritualityhub.com for consultation, counseling, and all. You can either visit my website babayoba.org or you chat me on Telegram. Chat me on Telegram at babayoba on Telegram. At babayoba on Telegram. You're also welcome to African Spirituality Hub on Telegram. We hold our shrine session every Sunday, 8 p.m. And you must know something that differentiates us from every other. It is our passion for humanity. Our passion to make sure that our spirituality translates to our humanity. So all of this is happening under the umbrella of Al-Kebulan Humanitarian Foundation. Al-Kebulan Humanitarian Foundation. You are welcome to use our website, africanspiritualityhub.com, to make donation and be part of us. And on the website also, you'll be able to see several things that we are doing. The award of scholarship for African children, the feeding, the sending them back to school, the several many structures that we are putting up for their knowledge, reviving the culture and the tradition, and also exposing them to other parts of Africa to know that we are one and one brothers. And don't forget to follow me on my social media, Baba Yoba on YouTube, Baba Yoba on Facebook, Baba Yoba on Instagram also. For those who are convinced that this is the freedom they are looking for, you are allowed to stay. For those who are not convinced, I wish you the best. But eventually, when you realize the truth, I pray and I hope that it will not be too late. You are God. You are orisha. You are what you should reverence, what you should respect, what you should venerate. Not trees, not plants, not any other thing. Thank you very much and have a nice time. Bye for now.